Guys, welcome out to the channel. It's kind of a gloomy day today, and we're trying to get prepared for some storms coming through. One of the things that really hit hard the other week was losing the carport, and it was due to the wind. So we have our other portable garage that's also made like out of the tent kind of material from Harbor Freight. It is a 17 foot by 10 foot one car garage type of deal. It is not blowing around nearly as bad as the carport, just because it's actually completely framed in. So it's got a front door, back door, and it's got the sides all done up. So it doesn't get the wind effect picking it up underneath it like the carport part does. But it does move around a little bit. So what we are going to do today is go ahead and make some more concrete anchors and maybe try to bury them into the ground and see if that will help for prevent it from moving around a little bit. So I wanted to bring you guys along and show you guys how easy it is to make these concrete anchors. For 4 of them, it costs roughly $35 to $40, and I mean, they're heavy. Today I went and picked up, instead of the 50-pound bags, I went up and picked up some 80-pound bags. So the weight is even greater on these ones. Let's go ahead and get started making these. The material I've got is, like I said before, is a Lowe's bucket. Picked up some rope. This is 3/8 by 100-foot rope, so I'll be able to use some of that rope for other different projects. Got some concrete, and the only thing that you have to do with this is adding the water, which is nice. And then I've got some rebar here, and the rebar will be set into the concrete. I'm going to try to heat up one end of it and actually make like a little eyelet for it. You could get eye bolt, but they're more expensive. This stick right here was only like $1.50. So yeah, I'm trying to keep the cost as low as possible while trying to still create something that's strong enough. So I'm going to go ahead and just get started by separating all the buckets and getting the concrete just into the buckets. And that's going to be a feat in itself, just because there's 4 of these bags and they're kind of heavy, but it's simple to do. And I'm just going to empty the whole entire bag right into the bucket. Now what I'm going to be doing is using the chop saw, and we're going to go ahead and get a piece of rebar split roughly in half. I'm not really measuring it at all. And this is the first time I'm going to be using this chop saw. I think it's a Central Pneumatic, and I picked it up at a yard sale for like $5. I couldn't pass up the deal. So we're going to see how well it does right off the bat. Hopefully the blade doesn't bust apart or anything. So what we are doing right now is we're just going to be heating this all up. And I don't have a good propane torch right now, or a forge. So we're just going to heat it up as best we can with this little one. And we're just going to use this anvil and try to beat it down, fold it over. Not worried about making an eye hook on it or anything like that. I just want to get like an L shape on there, just that way the rope can't slide off. Backing up a little bit, guys, the rebar is not going to work. I just can't get heated enough to really bend it. So what I'm going to end up doing is digging the hole right here where the original stake goes. And as you can see, this stake actually has the fins on the bottom, which will help keep it in the rebar. And then the stake will go in the concrete and hold well. Just got to get this main hole dug so that it can fit a 5-gallon bucket down in it. And then we'll put the bucket in there, then do the water and stuff. Got the eye in there, and I had to keep twisting it around until it went down just like you would in the ground. So now I'm going to put some water in here and then let the water kind of settle in on all the concrete. As you can see, all the air bubbles popping up, and what I've been doing is just taking a piece of the rebar and just poking it in and trying to give some room for that water to seep down through everything. I'm just going to let that water soak in there, and it'll work its way through everything, and then that concrete will become rock hard. About an inch of the water or so had receded down into all the other concrete, and I refilled it, and then that went down as well. So I just added the rest of the concrete bag, and then I put in the rest of the dirt around it, and this is super stable right now. I mean, that's not going to go anywhere. And then this has the thing on the bottom of it to keep it from being pulled up. So this will be a really good setup, and now I've got the other three to do. For a comparison, this was the 50-pound bag of concrete, and this was one of the anchors that came with the carport canopy, and this one is pretty heavy. It's not moving anywhere. It's doing pretty well. I'll eventually probably put this in the ground whenever I get some extra time and get this buried as well. We got plenty of extra string. This one worked out well, and the carport canopy hasn't been blown around anywhere. But tonight we're supposed to be getting like 30-mile-an-hour winds, so we'll see how well this does. So there you guys have it. It's a simple technique that you guys can use to hold down all sorts of things. Those little canopies, like the 10x10s that you guys take tailgating, stuff like that. You guys can get some buckets filled with concrete and some eye bolts or the rebar if you guys got a torch. Obviously it didn't work this time, but having the rebar or something that's kind of rougher around the edges helps, because it actually will allow the concrete to form around it and kind of grab onto it. That's why I was trying to use the rebar, but I don't have a torch that's going to get it hot enough, so that part was a fail. Rebar was only like $1.50 though, and I can always get a torch later and heat something up and bend it, shape it later. But yeah, so that's a simple thing that you guys can do. Hope you guys found it useful. Hopefully nothing will blow away anymore. It's already getting fairly windy. The carport's holding up pretty well, so I know those buckets will do fine, and I'll eventually want to bury those into the ground as well, just that they aren't, I guess, like an eyesore just sitting out there. But thanks guys for watching. If you guys are new, hit that subscribe button. Doing all sorts of different things on here, and we'll see you guys on the next project.